I started my animation journey in 2013 and I'm professionally working in cleanup since 2017. And I'm still learning new stuff in every project I work on. Cleanup animation is the art of crafting the final animation drawings we actually see on screen. In order to do that, cleanup artists refine the rough animation. One of the main skills of a cleanup artist is to be adaptive. A good cleanup artist can adapt to different styles and be able to set aside their personal style for the good of the project. Generally speaking, we can see a consistent demand of cleanup artists in Japan, France, Ireland, and Canada. Although every time there are more studios around the world that decide to use 2D animation because of its versatility and charming look. Cleanup animation is the art of crafting the final animation drawings we actually see on screen. In order to do that, cleanup artists refine the rough animation, finishing any missing drawings, putting them on model, and creating the final line art. Its purpose is to create the illusion of consistent, unbelievable characters that are magically alive, talking and feeling, in a way that it looks like every character was drawn by the same artist in the whole film. Well, in few words, because a bad cleanup can ruin a beautiful animation and a good cleanup just gets unnoticed. The reality is we are all different, so if you look at two animators, you will see each of them put something different on their drawings, even if they are working with the same character. They are putting their touch, their style. And it's all good, as the creative process of rough animation is very heavy in terms of technical stuff. But at the end, those characters must remain solid and consistent during the film. So as cleanup artists, it is our duty and responsibility to take those different styles and refine them until they look like they were drawn by the same person during the whole film. Generally speaking, we can see a consistent demand of cleanup artists in Japan, France, Ireland, and Canada. Although every time there are more studios around the world that decide to use 2D animation because of its versatility and charming look. Like Wizards of the Coast did on their hand-drawn animation teaser for Magic the Gathering, Bloom Barrow. There are also video game companies like Supercell that decide to implement hand-drawn animation teasers for the game updates, which I think fits very well their cartoonish style. Warner Bros. Has consistently bet for 2D animation, which I hope they will keep doing so, but just keep in mind that there are still studios that will require you to move to their country. So if you can afford it or you are lucky to live there, I highly encourage you to take the advantage. I'm pretty sure every cleanup artist had a different experience, as there isn't like an established path to follow, but I would suggest to start learning animation. You really need to understand all the basics and the principles that are being applied in the rough you are going to receive as a cleanup artist. You also need to understand how much time it takes to do hand-drawn animation, mentally and technically. Once you have those foundations, then you can choose the path of cleanup animation or the path of rough animation, but we both come from the same origin and basics. Well, as any other art-related thing, there's nothing that prevents you from doing so. There might be very talented people who learn by themselves or from free sources. But in my case, I learned the most when I had actual feedback of my work, because it helps you improving your workflow, noticing what to avoid and where to put your time and energy. In few words, feedback makes you grow and makes you a better professional. That's really up to you. I started my animation journey in 2013 and I'm professionally working in cleanup since 2017. And I'm still learning new stuff in every project I work on. Of course, there are things that repeat or issues you can foresee and anticipate from your experience, but it would be unwise to say that you reach the peak in a certain amount of time. To me, the phases of cleanup are tie down or putting the character close to model, cleanup spot keys, which among the keys these are the main few poses that give us more information, keys, breakdowns and in-betweens. I wish we had an answer to that question, but it depends on a lot of things. How much work does the rough animation need to be a model? The skill and experience from the cleanup artist? The workflow being used, because there might be tools or software which can help you saving time while others not? The complexity of the characters and the shot, or in general the number of lines to clean up. It's not the same to clean up a close-up shot or a still pose than a character full body animated in 24 drawings per second with camera movement and all that. So you can go from a simple shot that can take you 1-2 days to a complex shot that may take you 4 weeks to finish. One of the main skills of a cleanup artist is to be adaptive. A good cleanup artist can adapt to different styles and be able to set aside their personal style for the good of the project. Also, draftmanship. The cleanup artist must have excellent drawing skills because they will be interpreting animation rough drawings and complete them on model, as well as creating missing drawings to finish up the animation. Eye for detail. Again, cleanup is the last stage of animation, so it's our responsibility to check our work many times until we are sure it is good to go. Passion. It looks like cliché, but you really need it in order to overcome the difficulties that may appear. There will be ups and downs, and you are going to put a lot of your time and soul in every frame while everything around you is rushing. This is quite subjective, so I'm pretty sure everyone will have different thoughts about it. However, I gathered some guidelines which I call the 3x3 principles of cleanup animation. Animation, consistency, and design. Animation. Follow the animator's intention, follow the arcs. Lip sync animation, pay attention to the audio source and adjust the lip sync if needed. And animation charts. Understand where to place the missing drawings or in between. Consistency. Put character on model, follow the model sheets. Consistency of volumes, make solid drawings, and be consistent with the line quality. And design. Avoid tangents and crossing lines, make clear shapes, think also about how it will look in color, and always look for appeal. Unfortunately, one of the most common mistakes is not translating properly the rough animation into cleanup, losing the animator's intention in the process. For example, not paying attention to the lip sync, not following the arcs, or making middle in-betweens when they should be favoring another pose. Another big mistake is the inconsistency. Inconsistency of volumes, line quality, or even the character design. Although this one is the most noticeable, so under the right supervision it shouldn't happen that often. And a bad organized environment. Sometimes there are so many lines and layers that we get confused. So it's very important to be organized and to understand every line of our drawing. To summarize, it's a matter of not following the principles of cleanup I previously mentioned.